Curses to you, Red Baron. I'll need a Flieger to defeat that scoundrel. Welcome to another episode of Adventures with Time. I'm your host, Bob. Well, I hope you liked my little intro there. First time I ever used a green screen, and it was quite fun trying to make that, getting everything set up correctly, matching all the sizes of everything. Maybe I'll do it again. So this episode is about looking for a Flieger watch. Now, what is a Flieger? Well, a Flieger watch is one that is designed for pilots or aviators. And Flieger's characteristics really came into being during World War II by Germany. They needed a watch that was accurate and easy to read. So they called upon several manufacturers to come up with designs. Fliegers in those days were very big, 55 millimeters. This was partially to accommodate the size of the movements that they wanted to put in them, which were pocket watch movements. So they were relatively big, even by today's standards. The dials came in two styles. Type A, which you see here, which came about in 1940, had a single ring of hour markers. Type B, which came out a year earlier, had hour markers on an inner scale with minutes on the outer scale. I'm going to leave some links below in the description where you can do further reading or watch videos on Fliegers and their history. I thought Fliegers would be a good addition to my collection because they're cool, they're historical, and they're uncommon in the general population. This all aligns with one of my guiding principles of collecting watches, as you saw in my first episode. So once I decided I wanted a Flieger, I started looking around, and I landed upon Stowa. Now, Stowa makes very classic looking Fliegers, as long as other styles, but they really replicate the characteristic style of the 1940s Flieger. And they offer it in both the A-type and the B-type dials. I was almost ready to pull the trigger on one of those watches when I started looking at Sinn and really fell in love with the Sinn 104. Although not a classic looking Flieger, I found them very appealing. And with the day-date option, very functional for today's lifestyle. So I decided on the Sinn 104. But even there's some options to be considered. I was vacillating between the dial with the numerals for the hour markers or just simple hour markers. And I kept looking at them side by side, and for whatever reason, I really thought the variety without the numerals looked best. So that's what I went with. And I decided to get it on the Sinn matching bracelet because I figured I could always get another strap, leather, NATO later. So let's go to the desk and take a closer look at my Sinn 104. The Sinn comes in this nice box with the manual and all the paperwork. And in the box, in addition to the watch, you get a hex wrench. Now, I don't know if I got this just because I ordered it on a bracelet, and the links on the bracelet have screws which need a hex wrench to do them. I don't know if they give them to everybody if you just buy a leather band. And you also get this nice little tool, has some millimeter markings on it, and a flat end screwdriver on one side and a pusher tool on the other. Before I get into any specifics of the watch, I want to let you know that I've had this watch for several months now, and I wear it about a week at a time. That's become my habit of picking a watch for the week and wearing it all week. And when this watch has been off the wrist for a while, I keep forgetting how much I really like it. And every time its turn is up in rotation, I put it on and I really become overjoyed with the purchase I've made. And I think I finally figured out that it's due to the clean, sharp look that this watch has. It's just black and white on this stainless steel case. Very clean looking. Very sharp needlepoint hands. Nice clean date and day, and all against that black background. Adding to that, those angles of the lugs and that very smooth cylindrical case gives this watch almost a antiseptic look. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean in a very clean, pure design. Every time I put the watch on, I'm just drawn to staring at it for long periods of time. So let's go over some of the watch details. It's a 41 millimeter stainless steel case. It's got this bi-directional countdown bezel. Again, it's a pilot watch, so they would be measuring specific time, and to do that, you align the amount of time you want to measure to the current position of the minute hand, and when the minute hand reaches the 0 marker, that time has elapsed. As I said before, I purchased the watch on the H-Ling bracelet, and it comes with this double latch system. All these pieces seem to be milled, very solid, and the latch has a extension clasp that gives you, I don't know, 20 more millimeters of bracelet length. I guess that could be used to put it over a flight jacket, or since this has some water resistance, over a dive suit. The back has this small display window with a stainless steel screw-on back. Not much to see, but you get to see a little of the movements in there. The bezel has this reeded edge for gripping with some interrupting smooth sections. Again, those lugs are very solid looking with some nice angles, and it's got a nice signed crown which is screw down and comes with 3 positions as you would expect. The first is for winding, second is for adjusting, quick adjusting the day and the date, and the third position is for setting the time and hacking the second hand. And I will tell you, this watch has been very accurate for me. It's gaining about 3 seconds a day, which I think is exceptional. Now, I purchased this watch from Watch Buys, who are the North American distributors for Sinn, along with several other German brands. With this H-Ling strap in this configuration, the watch goes for $1,500. And I can tell you that the entire purchase process with delivery and follow-up questions about the watch all went very smoothly, was top rate with Watch Buys. So I have no hesitation recommending them. And in case you couldn't tell, I am very pleased with my decision to get the Sinn 104. I still have a desire to get the more traditional looking Flieger, and I'm sure that sometime in the near future I'll pull the trigger on that too. As always, please provide any comments for improvement on these videos, and to make sure I keep up the good work, please hit that like button and subscribe so you'll be alerted whenever there are new videos posted.